Hey y'all, it's G and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to go over my first impressions of the Boone Techo and talk about why I'm moving from the Hobo Nietzsche to the Boone for 2018. So first let's start with the Hobo Nietzsche. I loved the Hobo Nietzsche Cousin for 2017. It was a fantastic planner and I used the Avec and both of them are here. And the Hobo Nietzsche has stuck with me from whatever I wanted to transition throughout the year. I would do my weekly layouts here and do different designs every week, and I love doing that. And I even use the daily pages on a daily basis up until the summer, and I was able to mix both work and home in one planner. So that worked really well for quite a while, but once I got into the summer, I started to see that the daily pages weren't big enough to accommodate everything that I wanted, which included some gratitude journaling. So I pulled back from using them, and then I started mostly in the second half to just use the weekly pages until I started memory keeping the daily pages. And then I loved doing that, and that's why this is so thick. Every day I print a photo, I do a little bit of decorating and do a little journaling. So this has turned into something very personal, and I don't want to take it out and be on my on-the-go planner. So what I really need is just a weekly view that's very portable. And that's why I am moving into the Boone Techo. So I first learned about the Boone, of course, where I learned everything else on YouTube with planner videos. But it wasn't readily available in the US until JetPen started carrying it this fall. And the first batch went very quickly. I started to see people ordering it on their feeds and using it. I thought this is a really good move to use for more practical purposes is because it's light, it's thin, and only contains exactly what I wanted if I could just split the Hobo Nietzsche into half, just the monthly and the weekly view. So I wanted to go over my first impressions of the Boone and talk about how I use it. This is not an in-depth review. There are lots of them on YouTube, and I'll link to a couple of really good ones below. So what I have is the Boone Techo A5 Slim Biz Journal. So I picked the Biz Journal because it has a more neutral palette. It doesn't have the Tomoe River paper, and I knew that going in, but I just didn't want all that color in the weekly view to distract me. The cover is just a standard plastic cover. It almost feels like when people used to write checks. The checkbook covers, it feels and smells just like that. So there's a little pocket here in the front, another 2018 here on the spine, and then in the back it's just plain. This is just the navy blue standard cover that was in stock and available, so I just grabbed it. I figured if I really wanted a fancy cover I could get something later. Inside there's slots for cards or other things you want to put in there. And the Mio paper is really smooth. It's a little more durable, I think, and thicker than the Tomoe River paper. So I think it'll work out just fine. It feels just fine. It feels really good to the touch. The first part of the Boone has a bunch of pages that lets you track some things. There's a page on examples of how to use it. There's 2018, there's a 3-year calendar reference here, a 1-year Calendex for 2018, and then pages just for like plans, like a money plan. This is a sample of a weekly plan, a map of Japan, phrases, recommendation lists, book lists, movie lists. Then you can track gifts you gave and received here. And then a promise list. And then this is blank if you want to do some tracking. So that's really nice. And then I think I really will use this a lot for work. This will be great for tracking projects. You can write your project here and then you can track out maybe the tasks that you have to do, like a Gantt chart. So that would be really useful throughout. So I'm really excited about those pages. Then after that, you have a full year. You go straight into the monthly view here. And then I have gone ahead and propagated the weekly view. So let's take a look at the weekly view between this and the Hobo Nietzsche. So here's a side-by-side comparison. Of course, since this is an A5 Slim, there is not as much room, but they pack in a lot of information, which I really appreciate. I have room to put in my menu plan here, and then there's still a lot of room left over for tasks. This Boone Nietzsche has a 24-hour calendar, and I know the 2018 Hobo Nietzsche has one too, but you can see here that hours from midnight to 7 o'clock are collapsed. So you could track your time, but you could also write in some things that you wanted to do here. I'm thinking that I'm going to use this to track in must-do tasks for the day. And then this area here I can put in my focus. This space here, of course, is just going to run appointments. And then below here I can track in gratitude, you know, the top 3 that went well. I can track how my day went overall, and there's still room here to track whatever you like. I think the example that they give for the Boone is to track food along here. And then there's still lots of room to track priorities here. There's not as much room, I think, to decorate, at least for me, with this scale, with the biz. It just doesn't feel like it's really welcome and open to that, and maybe that's a good thing. I really am going to miss that quality with the Hobo Nietzsche, but this is so practical and focused. I think I'm going to enjoy working with that aspect of it, and that there's plenty of room to put in all of my most important daily tasks. There's room for that. So overall, with the comparison, I think I would say that the paper between the Mio and the Tomoe River paper, I love the Tomoe River paper. It's my favorite, and I know that they offer that in the Boone. So if that's important to you, you might want to take a look at the non-biz versions. But the Mio I can live with, and it's just feels a little bit more cold and impersonal, but I can live with that. The size, this is less portable, the full A5, especially with all the daily pages fattening up. So to me, the advantage for the size for my use is with the Boone Nietzsche. So this is very portable, and I love that I can just take it and it's light and it's not gonna thicken up in the same way, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to decorate it in the same way that I used to with the cousin. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally gonna miss that, but maybe that will be better for me in the long run, just to keep very focused with my weekly view. Another difference between these two is that I think the Slim A5 is going to need sticker packs that are mini, you know, like the Carpe Diem size stickers, or Mambi has those mini packs now that they have with their Planner Girls line. This is the size of the sticker that Mambi uses for their regular squares that are like with the Erin Condren size, and that's just way too big. So if you're thinking about moving into the Boone, you're going to want to think of mini stickers or more of the diary sticker styles from Japan. Those would be a better fit. I do have a question on what to do with memory keeping, because I love the Tomoe River paper, but I hesitate to buy another cousin because the memory keeping will just be daily, and I would hate to think of wasting the weekly and the monthly views. I'm thinking about maybe buying the 7 Seas Crossfield Journal from Nanami Paper, and I know that that's a big fan favorite for Tomoe River users and lovers, so if you use that for memory keeping, or you have that notebook, I'd love to hear your comments below on how that's working, and if you think that will work well just for the memory keeping daily aspect of this. Or if you have any other suggestions which could be good for daily memory keeping, I'd love to hear it. So that so far is the plan for 2018, moving from the Hobo Nietzsche to the Boone. I am really going to miss the Hobo Nietzsche. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this has been hard, and I've been putting off making the decision and buying it, and then even doing this video, because I just love Hobo Nietzsche so much. And I'm really hoping this can last, because I saw a couple people in my feeds on Instagram, you know, they bought the Boone and they were super excited, and they switched back, which I could totally see myself doing that. But I'm hoping that if I get to work with Tomoe River paper at least in some way, then that will take care of that need, and that this can just be purely practical. That's the plan. Practical, and then this would be creative. You know, my dream would be is if they would make the cousin and split it in half again. They would have just the daily pages, or they would have a book just like this, just for the weekly and the monthly. I mean, that's not too much to ask, right? They've done so many combinations that I'm sure that's the least I'm sure that's the last thing they want to do. I still have my Martha Stewart for my daily bullet journal type of thing, and I am going to get one more thing for goal project planning, and I'll show you that when it comes in. But so far that's 2018. I'd love to hear what your plans are, and if you've moved into the Boone Techo, I'd love to see how you like it. And finally, I just want to say thank you so much for watching and for supporting my little channel. I have really enjoyed sharing all of the stuff that I've been doing with planning and creating with you, and I hope that you will be able to stick around, even if you're a Hobo Nietzsche lover, to see what I do with the Boone. I'm not even sure how this is going to work out, but it'll be fun to watch and see what happens next. All right, have a great week. Bye.